thing you once believed would change everything. Maybe it was the job, the money, the relationship, the apartment, the body you worked so hard to build, the recognition, the moment when people finally looked at you and saw someone successful, disciplined, desirable, or important. For years, you imagined how it would feel. You pictured yourself waking up lighter, more confident, more alive. You thought the noise inside your mind would finally become quiet. You thought you would stop comparing yourself, stop doubting yourself, stop feeling as though everyone else had received some secret instruction for living that you had somehow missed. And for a moment, perhaps it worked. There was excitement, relief, a sense of arrival. You looked around and thought, I did it. I am no longer the person who is waiting. I am finally the person who has it. Then something strange happened. The excitement faded. The new job became a place you had to go every morning.
The apartment became rooms that needed cleaning. The relationship became two real people with histories, fears, moods, and disappointments. The money became numbers that had to be protected. The recognition became something you were afraid to lose. The dream became ordinary life, and beneath everything you had gained, you found the same emptiness waiting for you. That is the part people rarely talk about. We know how to comfort someone who failed. We have language for disappointment, rejection, and loss. But what do we say to someone who succeeded and still feels lost? What do you tell yourself when the evidence says you should be happy, yet happiness does not arrive? You may feel ashamed even asking the question. Other people would be grateful for what you have. Some of them worked just as hard and never received the opportunity. You know this. You are not blind to your advantages. But gratitude does not erase emotional reality.
You can appreciate your life and still feel disconnected from it. You can love people and still feel lonely beside them. You can be proud of what you built and still wonder why it did not reach the part of you that needed it most. This does not necessarily mean you chose the wrong life. It does not mean ambition is shallow, money is meaningless, or love is an illusion. It means you may have asked an external achievement to solve an internal problem. And external achievements are often very good at changing circumstances. They are much less reliable at changing the way you experience yourself. You were probably not chasing the achievement alone. You were chasing the feeling you believed the achievement would give you. You did not only want money, you wanted safety. You did not only want admiration, you wanted proof that you mattered. You did not only want a relationship, you wanted to stop feeling unchosen. You did not only want a better body, you wanted freedom from shame. You did not only want success, you wanted permission to respect yourself. This is where the confusion begins. The goal is visible, concrete, and measurable. The emotional need underneath it is often hidden, complicated, and difficult to name. So the mind creates a deal. When I get there, I will finally feel different. When I earn enough, I will relax. When someone loves me, I will believe I am lovable. When people respect me, I will stop feeling small. When I become impressive, I will no longer be afraid of being ordinary. When I prove everyone wrong, the old pain will disappear. These promises can become the architecture of an entire life. They tell you where to go, what to sacrifice, and who you must become. They create direction, and direction can feel like meaning. But a goal cannot give you what it was never designed to provide.
A promotion may give you influence. It cannot guarantee inner security. A relationship may give you companionship. It cannot automatically heal your fear of abandonment. A beautiful home may give you comfort. It cannot make you feel at home in your own mind. Praise may give you pleasure. It cannot create stable self-worth if your value still depends on being praised again tomorrow. This is not a moral failure. It is not evidence that you are ungrateful or emotionally defective. It is a very human misunderstanding. We often treat feelings as if they are waiting inside certain objects. We imagine confidence is hidden inside the right body. Peace is hidden inside a bank account. Belonging is hidden inside a relationship. Worth is hidden inside achievement. We think that once we possess the object, we will possess the feeling. But feelings do not live in objects. They emerge through the relationship you have with yourself, with other people, and with your life. This is why two people can reach the same goal and experience it very differently. One may feel grounded and fulfilled. The other may feel relieved for a few days, then immediately become restless. The difference is not always the achievement. The difference is what the achievement was expected to repair. If you were hoping success would confirm your worth, every success will eventually become insufficient. Because worth that must be proven never feels secure. It has to be proven again and again. If you were hoping love would remove loneliness, you may become terrified whenever your partner turns away, becomes tired, needs space, or fails to understand you perfectly. The relationship is no longer just a relationship. It has become your evidence that you are not alone. If you were hoping beauty would end shame, you may discover that the standards move as soon as you reach them. The body changes, but the gaze through which you judge it remains harsh. This is why getting what you wanted can feel disorienting. The visible problem has been solved, but the invisible need remains. And now you can no longer tell yourself that happiness is waiting just beyond the next milestone. For some people, that realization feels like freedom. For others, it feels like grief. Because the future version of you was not just a plan, it was a psychological refuge. You could tolerate the present because you believed another life was coming. You could survive long nights, boring days, loneliness, pressure and self-doubt by saying, "This is temporary. One day I will arrive. One day I will become the person who no longer feels this way." That imagined person carried your hope. Then you reached the future and discovered that you came with yourself. Your habits came with you. Your fears came with you. Your nervous system came with you. The inner voice that questioned your value packed its bags and moved into the new apartment. The part of you that feared rejection walked into the relationship. The part of you that never felt safe entered the bigger bank account and immediately began worrying about losing it. You changed your circumstances, but you did not leave your emotional history behind. This is one of the most important psychological truths about success. Achievement does not erase the self that achieved it. In fact, success often reveals that self more clearly. When you are struggling, you can blame the struggle. You can say, "Of course I'm anxious. I do not have enough money. Of course I feel insecure. Nobody sees what I can do. Of course I feel lonely.
I have not met the right person. Sometimes those explanations are accurate. Circumstances matter. Poverty, instability, rejection, and isolation have real psychological effects. But when circumstances improve and the same feelings remain, you are forced to look deeper. That can be uncomfortable. It may be easier to set a new goal, a larger home, a better position, a more desirable partner, a more impressive body, a bigger audience, a more dramatic transformation. The next goal offers a familiar promise. This time, it will be enough. And perhaps the new goal is meaningful. There is nothing wrong with growth. The danger appears when growth becomes a way to avoid meeting yourself where you are. Many people are not addicted to success. They are addicted to pursuit. Pursuit creates motion, urgency, and emotional intensity. It gives the day a shape. There is always something to improve, solve, win, or become. The mind stays occupied. The future stays bright. You do not have to ask what your life feels like now, because you are too busy building what it is supposed to feel like later. During the chase, your brain receives small rewards from progress, a completed task, a message, a number increasing, a compliment, a sign that you are getting closer. These moments do not provide lasting fulfillment, but they keep attention focused forward. The pursuit also protects you from stillness. Stillness is where unresolved feelings become audible. When the work ends, loneliness may appear. When the phone is quiet, insecurity may appear. When there is nothing urgent to solve, sadness may appear. When nobody needs you, you may wonder who you are. So you remain busy, you answer emails late at night, you turn hobbies into projects. You measure rest by how quickly it improves productivity. You make a plan for healing, a schedule for peace, and a performance out of self-care. Even relaxation becomes another assignment you can either complete correctly or fail. This can look impressive from the outside. Inside, it may feel like running from a room you are carrying with you. The problem is not that you work hard. Hard work can be deeply satisfying. The problem is when activity becomes emotional anesthesia. There is a difference between moving toward something meaningful and moving so you do not have to feel what is behind you. One gives energy, the other eventually consumes it. You may notice this when a major project ends. Instead of satisfaction, you feel agitation. You do not know what to do with the evening. You check messages that do not need checking. You begin planning the next thing before the current achievement has even registered. People may congratulate you and you smile, but privately you feel almost nothing. Sometimes you even feel sad. This sadness is not always disappointment. It may be the nervous system releasing tension after months or years of effort. It may be grief for the version of you who sacrificed so much to get here. It may be the collapse of an identity built entirely around becoming. For a long time, you knew who you were because you knew what you were pursuing. You were the person building the business, the person trying to graduate, the person saving for the home, the person proving the doubters wrong, the person becoming stronger, the person waiting to be chosen, the person who had not arrived yet. The pursuit gave you a role. When the goal is reached, the role disappears. Now you are left with a question that achievement cannot answer. Who are you when there is nothing immediate to prove? This question can feel frightening because many people were not taught to experience identity as something deeper than performance. Perhaps you learned early that approval came when you achieved. You were praised for being useful, mature, responsible, talented, quiet, attractive, or strong. Adults may not have intended to teach you that love was conditional, but children do not interpret relationships through adult intentions. They interpret patterns. When I succeed, people are warm. When I cause trouble, people withdraw. When I need too much, people become frustrated. When I make others proud, I feel safe. A child can turn these patterns into a private rule. I must become impressive in order to remain connected. That rule can produce extraordinary discipline. It can also produce a life in which rest feels dangerous, mistakes feel humiliating, and ordinary existence feels undeserving of love. You may grow into an adult who can achieve almost anything except the feeling of being enough. Each success brings relief, but relief is not the same as self-worth. Relief says, I avoided failure this time. Self-worth says, failure would hurt, but it would not erase me. Relief says, they approve of me today. Self-worth says, their reaction matters, but it does not define my entire value. Relief says, I am safe as long as I keep performing. Self-worth says, I am allowed to exist even when I am tired, uncertain, learning, or unimpressive. When your inner stability depends on performance, success becomes less enjoyable because it creates something new to protect. The promotion can be lost, the body can change, the audience can move on, the partner can leave, the money can disappear. The more your achievements define you, the more threatening life becomes. This is why some highly successful people feel more anxious after reaching their goals. They thought success would remove fear. Instead, it expanded the territory fear had to defend. Before the success, they feared never getting it. After the success, they fear losing it. The object changes, the insecurity remains. This can create a painful cycle of over-control. You become careful, vigilant, and unable to enjoy what you have, because enjoyment requires presence, and presence requires enough safety to stop scanning for what could go wrong. A nervous system trained by unpredictability may not recognize calm as pleasant. It may recognize calm as suspicious. This is especially common for people who grew up around emotional instability, criticism, conflict, financial insecurity, addiction, or unpredictable caregiving. They learned to read the room, anticipate problems, and stay prepared. Hypervigilance helped them adapt. Later, when life becomes stable, their body may continue searching for danger. They may create pressure where none is necessary. They may start arguments in peaceful relationships. They may overwork after reaching financial security. They may become restless during vacations. They may interpret boredom as proof that something is wrong. This does not mean they secretly want to suffer. It means the body often prefers the familiar to the healthy. Familiar pain can feel more predictable than unfamiliar peace. If you have spent years functioning under pressure, success may remove the pressure that organized your nervous system. Without it, you do not immediately feel free. You feel unstructured. The first experience of peace may feel like emptiness. That distinction matters. Emptiness is not always the absence of meaning. Sometimes it is the absence of the tension you mistook for aliveness. For years, stress may have provided intensity. Deadlines gave you focus. Uncertainty gave you adrenaline. The need to prove yourself gave you momentum. When those forces weaken, calm can feel flat by comparison. You may say, "I feel nothing," but perhaps what you are feeling is a nervous system that has not yet learned how to experience safety without searching for the next emergency. Learning peace is a skill. It is not simply what happens when problems disappear. A person who has lived in survival mode may need time to discover that a quiet day is not a wasted day, that rest is not the beginning of failure, and that love does not need constant drama to be real. This is one reason healthy relationships can initially feel less exciting than unstable ones. The absence of uncertainty means fewer emotional highs and lows. If your body associates longing, anxiety, and inconsistency with love, steady affection may feel strangely muted. The same pattern appears with success. If achievement has always been tied to struggle, you may unconsciously believe that something only matters when it hurts. An easy win feels undeserved. A calm life feels shallow. A good opportunity feels suspicious. You may create obstacles simply to recover the intensity that makes you feel real. Then, when you overcome those obstacles, you call the relief happiness. But relief fades quickly because it depends on pressure. Real fulfillment is quieter. It does not always arrive as excitement. Sometimes it feels like not needing to escape the present. Sometimes it feels like a body that can soften. A conversation where you do not perform. Work that matters even when nobody applauds. A morning that does not need to become content. A home where silence does not accuse you. These experiences may look small compared with major accomplishments, but they reach places achievement cannot. The mind adapts quickly to external improvements. Psychologists often describe this as hedonic adaptation. What was once extraordinary becomes normal. The salary that once seemed life-changing becomes the baseline. The new home becomes familiar. The praise becomes expected. The relationship becomes daily life. This capacity to adapt is not a defect. Without it, every change would overwhelm us. Adaptation allows the nervous system to stabilize, but it also means no external event can maintain a permanent emotional high. You can enjoy the event, you can value its long-term benefits, you can be grateful for what it makes possible. But if you expect it to keep producing the feeling it created on the first day, you will eventually believe either the achievement failed or you failed. Neither is true. The emotional system is not designed to remain at a peak. A meaningful life cannot be built entirely from peaks. It needs depth, rhythm, connection, and the ability to inhabit ordinary time. This is difficult in a culture that markets intensity. We are shown dramatic transformations, perfect relationships, exceptional careers, beautiful bodies, and visible success. We rarely see the emotional adaptation that follows. The photo shows the keys to the house, not the quiet evening 3 months later when the owner realizes the same self-doubt has moved in. The post shows the wedding, not the ordinary work of intimacy. The announcement shows the promotion, not the new pressure. The before and after image shows the body, not the continuing fear of being judged. Public life is edited around arrival. Private life is lived after arrival. When you compare your private aftermath to someone else's public moment, your life will almost always feel insufficient. You may begin to think that other people possess a kind of happiness you cannot access. In reality, many of them are asking the same question behind different doors. Why did this not change me? There is another reason success can feel empty. The goal may not truly belong to you. Human beings are deeply social. We learn what to desire by observing what our families, communities, and cultures reward. Long before you are capable of forming a conscious philosophy of life, you absorb definitions. A successful person looks like this. A respectable career looks like that. A good partner has these qualities. A valuable body has this shape. A meaningful life follows this timeline. There is nothing wrong with being influenced by others. No desire develops in complete isolation. But problems appear when you never examine the desires you inherited. You can spend years climbing a ladder only to discover it was leaning against a wall you never chose. Perhaps you pursued a career because it made your parents feel secure. Perhaps you wanted a certain relationship because being single felt socially embarrassing. Perhaps you built a lifestyle designed to impress people whose values you do not even share. Perhaps you confused envy with desire. You saw someone receiving attention and concluded that you wanted their life, when what you actually wanted was to feel visible. Perhaps you wanted the symbol more than the experience, the title, not the daily work, the wedding, not the relationship, the body, not the lifestyle required to maintain it, the audience, not the responsibility of being seen, the house, not the financial pressure attached to it. When you reach a borrowed goal, the emptiness can be profound because the achievement confirms your ability but not your identity. You proved that you could do it. You still do not know why you did. This is not a reason to destroy your life impulsively. Feeling empty does not automatically mean you should quit your job, end your relationship, sell everything, or move across the world. Dramatic action can become another attempt to escape discomfort. The wiser response is curiosity. Whose voice is inside this goal? What did I believe reaching it would say about me? Would I still want this if nobody could see it? What parts of the process felt alive? What parts felt like performance? What did I sacrifice, and was the sacrifice chosen or automatic? These questions do not produce instant answers. They are not a productivity exercise. They are a way of slowly separating your own experience from the expectations you absorbed. Sometimes you discover that the goal is genuinely yours, but your relationship with it needs to change. You still care about the work, but not at the cost of your health. You still love the person, but you need to stop using the relationship as proof of your worth. You still value ambition, but you no longer want ambition to consume every quiet part of your life. At other times, you discover that the emptiness is information. Not a command, but information. It tells you that the life you built is organized around admiration rather than intimacy, security rather than vitality, image rather than experience, duty rather than choice. The emptiness is not mocking your success. It is asking whether success has become a substitute for living. This is where many people feel guilty. They think, I have so much, why am I not happy? Guilt can make the emptiness heavier because it turns pain into evidence of moral failure. Now you do not only feel disconnected, you judge yourself for feeling disconnected. You may hide it. You smile in photographs. You answer, everything is great. You post the vacation, the celebration, the promotion, the relationship. People congratulate you, and you feel even more alone because their image of your life becomes brighter while your internal experience becomes harder to explain.
You may worry that telling the truth would sound ungrateful, so you remain silent. But gratitude and pain are not opposites.
You can be grateful for a home and still feel lonely inside it. You can appreciate your partner and still recognize that the relationship cannot meet every emotional need. You can value your career and still feel exhausted by the identity built around it. You can know that others have less and still need help. Suffering is not a competition. Perspective can reduce entitlement, but it should not be used to silence legitimate emotional experience. If you broke your leg, you would not refuse treatment because someone else had 2 broken legs. Yet people do this with psychological pain every day. They say, "I should not feel this way." But feelings are not instructions, and they are not moral verdicts. They are signals generated by a complex system of memory, interpretation, biology, relationship, and present circumstance. You do not have to obey every feeling. You do need to become honest enough to understand it. Emptiness can mean many things. It may reflect burnout, when the nervous system has been pushed beyond its capacity for too long. Joy often becomes less available. The person is not choosing ingratitude, their system is depleted. It may reflect depression, especially when emptiness is persistent and accompanied by loss of interest, hopelessness, sleep changes, concentration problems, or thoughts of not wanting to exist. In that case, the experience deserves professional attention, not philosophical shame. It may reflect unresolved grief. You reached the goal, but someone you wanted to share it with is gone. The success illuminates the absence. It may reflect emotional disconnection. You have many people around you, but few relationships where you can be known without performing. It may reflect identity foreclosure. You committed to a role before discovering who you were outside it. It may reflect a life with stimulation but little meaning. It may reflect a mismatch between your values and your daily behavior. It may reflect the collapse that follows chronic stress. Or it may be the quiet space that appears when an old identity has ended and a new one has not yet formed. Not every emptiness should be filled immediately. Some emptiness needs to be listened to. We are often too quick to treat discomfort as a problem to eliminate. We reach for distraction, consumption, achievement, romance, entertainment, substances, or another plan. Anything that keeps us from sitting beside the unanswered question. But a life transition often includes a period when the old motivations no longer work and the new ones are not yet clear. This can feel like failure. It may actually be psychological reorganization. The self is not a fixed object hidden somewhere inside you. It is a living process shaped by memory, relationship, values, choices, and attention. When a major goal ends, the structure that organized that process may weaken. You feel empty because the old story has lost its authority. The story might have been, "I am the person who will prove them wrong." Or, "I am the person who must become successful so nobody can dismiss me." Or, "I am the person who will finally be loved when I am good enough." Or, "I am the person who survives by never needing anyone." These stories may have protected you. They may have helped you endure difficult years, but protective stories can become prisons when they continue long after the danger has passed. The person who survives through achievement may eventually need to learn how to live without constantly earning the right to exist. The person who survives through independence
may need to learn how to receive help. The person who survives through pleasing others may need to tolerate disapproval. The person who survives through control may need to experience uncertainty without treating it as catastrophe. The person who survives through being exceptional may need to discover the dignity of being ordinary. This is not regression.
It is development. Early in life, you often build identity around adaptation. You become what the environment requires. Later, if you are fortunate and honest, you begin asking whether the adaptation still serves you. That question can unsettle everything, because the identity that exhausts you may also be the identity that brought you success. The perfectionism that damages your peace may have made you excellent. The hypervigilance that strains your relationships may have made you observant. The people-pleasing that erases your needs may have made you socially skilled. The emotional distance that blocks intimacy may have made you appear calm and self-contained. The work addiction that separates you from your body may have built the career everyone admires. Healing does not require hating these parts. They were solutions. The task is to recognize the problem they were designed to solve and decide whether that problem still exists in the same form. A part of you may say, "Keep working. If you stop, everything will fall apart." Instead of attacking that part, ask what it fears. Perhaps it remembers financial instability. Perhaps it remembers humiliation. Perhaps it believes usefulness is the price of belonging. Perhaps it is protecting you from the grief that appears when you slow down. Compassion is not indulgence. It is accurate understanding. You cannot change a pattern deeply if you only insult it. This is why advice such as "just be grateful, enjoy the moment," or "stop overthinking" often fails. The pattern is not maintained by a lack of information. It is maintained by emotional learning. Your body may know how to work, but not how to rest. Your mind may know how to plan, but not how to trust. Your social self may know how to impress, but not how to reveal. Your ambitious self may know how to pursue, but not how to receive. Learning these capacities takes practice because they involve new experiences, not just new ideas. You learn to rest by resting and surviving the guilt. You learn to receive by accepting care without immediately paying it back. You learn to be known by revealing something real and discovering that connection can survive it. You learn to tolerate ordinary life by staying present when there is no dramatic reward. You learn self-worth by treating yourself as valuable before the next achievement provides evidence. This may sound simple. It is not easy. For someone whose identity has been organized around performance, doing less can feel like disappearing. For someone who has always been needed, allowing others to manage their own lives can feel like abandonment. For someone who has relied on ambition to regulate mood, an unstructured weekend can feel unbearable. Change often feels wrong before it feels healthy. The old pattern feels natural because it is familiar. The new pattern feels artificial because it is new. You may have to practice a life that initially does not feel like you. A life where you do not answer immediately. A life where you do not explain every boundary. A life where a hobby remains a hobby. A life where you are not always improving. A life where your body is not a project.
A life where a conversation is not an opportunity to prove intelligence. A life where you can disappoint someone and remain a good person. A life where your value does not rise and fall with productivity. This can bring grief. You may grieve how long you lived for approval. You may grieve relationships built around a version of you that was always performing. You may grieve the childhood need hidden beneath adult ambition. You may grieve the belief that one great achievement would finally make everything simple. Grief is not proof that you are moving backward. Sometimes grief is what happens when an illusion releases its hold. You are not only losing a false promise, you are losing the future self who carried that promise. That future self may have been with you for years. The successful self, the healed self, the admired self, the loved self. The self who would never feel insecure again. It can be painful to realize that this perfect version will never arrive. Not because you are incapable, but because no human being arrives at a permanent state beyond vulnerability. There is no final achievement after which you never doubt, never fear, never lose, never age, and never need anyone. There's only a deeper capacity to remain connected to yourself while these experiences move through you. Maturity is not the elimination of vulnerability. It is the ability to live without organizing your entire existence around escaping vulnerability. You can want success without asking it to make you invulnerable. You can want love without asking another person to remove every trace of loneliness. You can care about your appearance without using it as a verdict on your worth. You can build security without demanding certainty from life.
You can pursue excellence without treating mistakes as identity collapse. This is the difference between desire and desperation. Desire says, I would value this. Desperation says, I cannot be okay without it. Desire allows choice. Desperation narrows the world. Desire can enjoy. Desperation can only monitor. When you achieve from desperation, the result rarely feels complete because the emotional threat underneath it remains active. You do not receive the success, you immediately evaluate whether it is enough to protect you. Enough money to never feel afraid. Enough admiration to never feel insignificant. Enough love to never feel abandoned. Enough control to never be surprised. There is no amount that can guarantee these things. The attempt to achieve emotional certainty in an uncertain world produces chronic tension. Peace begins when you stop asking life to provide guarantees it cannot provide and start building the capacity to meet uncertainty without abandoning yourself. This does not mean becoming passive. It means your action is no longer driven entirely by fear. You can plan for the future without postponing your right to live until the plan is complete. You can prepare without rehearsing disaster every day. You can protect what matters without turning protection into imprisonment. You can accept that loss is possible and still allow love to matter. The emptiness after success sometimes reveals that you were never fully present during the pursuit. You were living instrumentally. Every day was valuable because of what it might produce. Every action was judged by whether it moved you closer to the result. Meals became fuel.
Sleep became recovery. Relationships became support systems. Time became a resource. The body became a machine. The present became a waiting room. This mindset can be useful temporarily. It helps people complete difficult tasks. But when it becomes permanent, life loses texture. You stop asking, "What is this moment like?" You only ask, "What is this moment for?" A life in which everything must be useful eventually becomes emotionally barren. Some of the most meaningful human experiences have no measurable outcome. Sitting with someone who is grieving, walking without tracking the distance, listening to music without multitasking, cooking slowly, laughing at something that does not improve you, looking at the sky without photographing it, resting before exhaustion forces you to, talking without networking, creating something nobody will see. These moments do not advertise themselves as important, yet they teach the nervous system that life is not only a test. They restore a sense of participation. Emptiness often includes the feeling that you are observing your life rather than inhabiting it. You perform the actions, meet the expectations, and reach the milestones, but some part of you remains outside the experience. This can happen when self-consciousness becomes constant. You are always imagining how you appear, how you compare, whether you are doing enough, and how the moment might be evaluated. Instead of living, you watch yourself live. This internal observer can become harsh and exhausting. It turns every experience into a performance review. Did I say the right thing? Did I look confident? Was I interesting enough? Am I enjoying this enough? Should I be happier? What will this mean later? The more you monitor experience, the less deeply you enter it. Presence requires temporary freedom from evaluation. This is why some people feel more alive in moments when the self-monitoring mind becomes quiet. During intense exercise, music, nature, creative absorption, honest conversation, or physical affection. The activity matters, but so does the temporary disappearance of the internal judge. You do not need to eliminate self-awareness. You need to loosen the belief that every moment must prove something about you. One way to begin is to notice when you turn an experience into evidence. A difficult day becomes evidence that your life is wrong. A quiet message becomes evidence that someone is losing interest. A mistake becomes evidence that you are incompetent. A successful week becomes evidence that you are finally worthy. A tired morning becomes evidence that you are becoming lazy. This kind of thinking creates emotional instability because identity is constantly being decided by the latest event. A more stable self can say, "This happened and it matters, but it does not define the whole of me." That sentence is psychologically powerful because it creates space between experience and identity. You failed at something. You are not failure itself. Someone did not choose you. You are not unchoosable. You feel empty. You are not empty as a person. Your life is successful in visible ways and painful in invisible ways. Both can be true. Emotional health depends on the capacity to hold complexity
without rushing into a single verdict. The mind prefers simple explanations. I am broken. I chose the wrong life. Nothing matters. I just need a bigger goal. Everyone else is happier. These explanations reduce uncertainty, but they often distort reality. The truth may be less dramatic and more demanding. You are tired. You have been using achievement to regulate self-worth. You do not have enough relationships where you feel known. You have not allowed your body to recover. You reached a goal that mattered, but you expected it to do too much. You are entering a developmental stage in which old motivations no longer satisfy you. You need new forms of meaning that are not based entirely on performance. This kind of truth does not provide a quick emotional high. It provides direction. Meaning is different from excitement. Excitement is a state. Meaning is a relationship. You can feel bored while doing something meaningful.
You can feel anxious while choosing something aligned with your values.
You can feel grief in a loving relationship. You can feel tired while caring for a person who matters to you. Meaning does not guarantee pleasant emotion. It makes difficult emotion worth carrying. Many people search for meaning as if it were another hidden achievement. They want a purpose that will make every day clear and energized. But purpose is rarely one permanent revelation. It is often built through repeated acts of commitment, caring for people, developing a craft, participating in a community, telling the truth, protecting what is vulnerable, creating something useful or beautiful, taking responsibility for the part of life that is yours. Meaning grows where attention and commitment meet. It is not always impressive. In fact, a meaningful life may look less dramatic than a performative one. You may earn less, but recognize yourself more. You may have fewer relationships, but more honesty. You may receive less admiration, but experience more peace. You may produce less and feel more alive. This does not mean everyone must choose simplicity or reject ambition. The point is not the size of the life. The point is whether you can inhabit it. A large life can be deeply authentic. A quiet life can be deeply avoidant. External appearance does not reveal internal alignment. The essential question is not, does this look meaningful? It is, what happens inside me as I live it? Do I feel expanded or constantly compressed? Am I acting from care or fear? Can I remain connected to my body while doing this? Does this life allow truth? Are my relationships organized around performance or mutual recognition? Can I rest without believing I have disappeared? Do I know what I feel before I decide what I should feel? These questions bring you back from image to experience. The process can be uncomfortable because you may discover needs you have neglected. Perhaps you need companionship, not attention. Attention and companionship are not the same. Attention means people notice you. Companionship means someone shares reality with you. You can have thousands of people watching and nobody beside you. Perhaps you need intimacy, not admiration. Admiration places you above or outside others. Intimacy requires mutual humanity. It allows you to be uncertain, flawed, and ordinary. Perhaps you need rest, not escape. Escape distracts you from exhaustion. Rest responds to it. Perhaps you need grief, not motivation. Motivation asks you to move. Grief asks you to stop pretending nothing was lost. Perhaps you need limits, not greater efficiency. Efficiency helps you do more. Limits help you remain a person while doing it. Perhaps you need play, not another form of achievement. Play does not need to justify itself. It reminds the nervous system that existence can include curiosity without evaluation.
The emptiness may be less about what you lack and more about what you have been refusing to need. People who are highly self-reliant often develop contempt for need. They associate it with weakness, dependence, disappointment, or loss of control. They become excellent at functioning alone. But independence can become a defense against the vulnerability of being supported. If you never ask, nobody can refuse. If you never depend, nobody can fail you. If you never reveal, nobody can misunderstand the real you. The cost is that nobody can truly reach you. Success can intensify this pattern. The more capable you become, the less others imagine you need anything. You may be surrounded by people who rely on you, while having nobody you trust enough to rely on. This creates a specific kind of emptiness, being valued for what you provide while feeling unseen in what you experience. You may not need more people. You may need more reciprocity. A relationship becomes nourishing when you can affect each other, not control each other, but matter to each other. Your feelings can enter the space. Your needs can be considered. You can offer care without becoming responsible for another adult's entire emotional life. You can receive care without turning it into debt. This balance is difficult for people who learned that relationships require a role. The strong one, the funny one, the successful one, the calm one, the rescuer, the one who never causes trouble. Roles create predictability. They also limit intimacy. If people only know the role, their love may never reach the person underneath it. Then success feels strangely lonely because it strengthens the role. Everyone celebrates the capable version of you, while the tired version remains hidden. To be known, you may need to risk disappointing the image. You may need to say, "I am not okay, even though my life looks good. I do not know what comes next. I need help. I am grateful and still struggling. I reached the goal and feel lost." These statements are not demands for others to fix you. They are acts of reality. Shame thrives in secrecy because secrecy allows the mind to believe your experience is uniquely wrong. Honest connection reveals that many people carry contradictions. The person who appears confident may feel fraudulent. The person in a loving relationship may feel lonely. The person with financial security may still wake in panic. The person everyone depends on may feel one request away from collapse. The person who achieved the dream
may be grieving the years spent chasing it. When reality can be spoken, it becomes easier to work with. Another important distinction is the difference between emptiness and spaciousness. Emptiness feels like absence without connection. Spaciousness feels like room without immediate demand. At first, they can feel similar. Both are quiet. Both lack the intensity of pursuit. Both may appear after a major goal ends. But emptiness says, nothing matters. Spaciousness asks, what matters now? Emptiness feels like disconnection. Spaciousness allows contact. The transition from emptiness to spaciousness often begins when you stop trying to fill every open space immediately. You let a weekend remain unplanned. You sit with uncertainty before choosing the next ambition. You notice the impulse to reach for your phone and wait a few seconds. You allow the body to feel tired without converting tiredness into a moral problem. You give yourself time to discover desire beneath obligation. This is not passive waiting, it is active listening. Modern life rarely rewards this. It rewards quick decisions, visible action, constant output, and immediate response. But psychological truth often moves more slowly. A real desire may begin quietly. You miss making music. You want to spend more time with a particular person. You feel drawn to work that is less prestigious, but more honest. You want to live with less performance. You want to repair something rather than replace it. You want to learn without becoming the best. These desires may be easy to dismiss because they do not produce a dramatic identity, but they may contain more life than the goals that impressed everyone. You do not need to turn every desire into a plan. Some desires need companionship before commitment. You spend time near them. You notice whether they deepen or disappear. This protects you from using the next change as another escape. When people feel empty, they sometimes become vulnerable to extreme solutions. They imagine quitting everything, moving somewhere new, ending every relationship, or reinventing themselves completely. Sometimes major change is necessary, but urgency can be misleading. The wish to destroy the current life may be the same pattern as the wish that created it. The belief that a dramatic external shift will produce an immediate internal transformation. A new city can be valuable. You will still arrive with your emotional patterns. A new relationship can be healing. You will still bring your attachment history. A new career can be meaningful. You will still need to tolerate uncertainty, limitation, and ordinary days. Change the life where change is needed. Do not ask change to remove the task of becoming more honest with yourself. The deepest work often looks less dramatic than reinvention. Learning to notice resentment before it becomes withdrawal. Saying no before exhaustion becomes collapse. Allowing someone to help. Recognizing that envy may be pointing toward a neglected desire. Separating fatigue from failure. Letting praise feel good without making it necessary. Letting criticism hurt without making it absolute. Creating routines that support the body rather than punish it. Choosing relationships where truth is possible. These actions do not produce a cinematic transformation. They produce integration. Integration means the successful part of you
no longer has to exile the vulnerable part. The ambitious part can coexist with the tired part. The grateful part can coexist with the grieving part. The independent part can coexist with the part that needs connection. The confident part can coexist with uncertainty. You become less divided against yourself. This is a more durable form of wholeness than the fantasy of becoming permanently strong. Wholeness does not mean every part feels good. It means every part has a place. When you exclude fear, fear becomes more controlling. When you exclude need, need appears indirectly through resentment or desperation. When you exclude grief, it can become numbness. When you exclude anger, it can become depression, passivity, or self-attack.
When you exclude desire, life becomes duty. Emptiness is sometimes the emotional result of too much internal exclusion. You have removed everything inconvenient in order to become functional. You removed anger because it threatened relationships. You removed need because it threatened independence. You removed play because it threatened productivity. You removed sadness because it slowed you down. You removed uncertainty because it threatened the image of competence. Eventually, you remain highly functional and barely present. The path back is not to lose discipline, it is to make room for humanity. This requires emotional vocabulary. Many adults can describe projects, strategies, and problems with precision, but have only a few words for inner experience. Good, bad, stressed, tired. Without language, emotion feels like fog. You do not need to analyze every sensation endlessly, but naming can reduce confusion. Disappointed is different from ashamed. Lonely is different from bored.
Overwhelmed is different from incapable. Grief is different from regret. Restlessness is different from desire. Numbness is different from peace. The more accurately you name the experience, the less likely you are to solve the wrong problem. If you call loneliness boredom, you may entertain yourself when you need connection. If you call burnout laziness, you may punish yourself when you need recovery. If you call shame ambition, you may chase another achievement when you need self-compassion. If you call anxiety intuition, you may abandon something meaningful because uncertainty feels dangerous. If you call numbness contentment, you may stay disconnected because nothing appears dramatically wrong. Emotional accuracy is a form of freedom. It allows choice. It helps you ask, what response fits this feeling? Sometimes the response is action. Sometimes it is rest. Sometimes it is conversation. Sometimes it is grief. Sometimes it is professional help.
Sometimes it is accepting that no action will remove the feeling immediately. The ability to experience emotion without demanding immediate resolution is a central part of psychological maturity. You learn that sadness can move without becoming your identity. Anxiety can be present without becoming prophecy. Emptiness can be explored without becoming a verdict on your life. Uncertainty can exist without forcing an impulsive decision. This capacity is called tolerance. But tolerance does not mean cold endurance. It means staying in relationship with yourself while the experience is difficult. You do not abandon yourself through criticism. You do not flood yourself with distraction. You do not hand your entire emotional state to another person. You remain. This is how internal security is built, not through never feeling unstable, but through discovering that you can accompany yourself through instability. For many people, this is a new experience. Their inner voice has always sounded like pressure. Fix it, get over it, work harder, do not be weak. Other people have it worse. You should be happy. This voice may believe it is motivating you. Often, it is reproducing the emotional environment in which you learned to perform. A more useful inner voice is not falsely positive. It is grounded. Something in me feels empty. I do not yet know why. I will not shame myself for it. I will pay attention. I will look at my sleep, my relationships, my workload, my values, and my health. I will ask for help if this persists. I will not destroy my life tonight. I will also not pretend everything is fine. This is self-respect. Self-respect is not constant confidence. It is the refusal to treat your inner life as an enemy. From that position, you can reconsider achievement. What would it mean to pursue goals without using them as emotional rescue? You might still work intensely, but the work would be connected to values, curiosity, contribution, or craft rather than only fear. You might still want money, but money would be a tool for security and freedom, not evidence that you deserve to exist. You might still want recognition, but recognition would be appreciated rather than required for identity. You might still improve your body, but the body would be a living home, not a public argument. You might still want love, but the relationship would be a meeting between two people, not a courtroom where your worth is decided. This changes the emotional experience of success. You can enjoy it because you are not demanding that it make you whole. You can lose it without losing every part of yourself. You can rest after reaching it. You can say, "This matters, and it is not everything." That sentence protects both ambition and humanity. It also allows success to become more meaningful because it no longer carries an impossible burden. A job can simply be a job you value. A home can be a place where life happens. A relationship can be loving and imperfect. A body can be cared for and changing. A creative project can matter even if it does not become famous. When nothing has to save you, more things can be appreciated for what they actually are. This is one of the paradoxes of fulfillment. The less desperately you need an experience to complete you, the more fully you can receive it. Desperation narrows attention to one question: is this enough? Presence asks a different question: what is here? What is here may include pleasure, fear, relief, disappointment, gratitude, and uncertainty at the same time. That complexity is not failure. It is human experience. Perhaps you expected success to feel clean. Instead, it feels mixed. You are proud and tired, grateful and lonely, relieved and uncertain, happy for what happened and sad for what it cost. These emotions can coexist. You do not need to choose one to make the others legitimate. In fact, the ability to hold mixed feelings is often a sign that you are seeing reality more clearly. Children tend to experience people and situations as all good or all bad. Adults under stress can return to this style of thinking. Success must be perfect or meaningless. The relationship must be destiny or a mistake. The career must be a calling or a prison. Real life is usually less absolute. A goal can be worth achieving and unable to heal you. A relationship can contain love and still require change. A career can fit one season of life and not the next. A dream can be genuine and still cost too much. A choice can be reasonable and still produce grief.
Complexity allows adjustment without total destruction. You do not have to declare your past self foolish. That person made choices with the needs, knowledge, fear, and hope available at the time. Perhaps the dream protected you.
Perhaps ambition helped you leave a harmful environment. Perhaps achievement gave you structure when you had none. Perhaps becoming capable saved your life in ways nobody could see. Honor that. Then ask what the present requires. The solution that brought you here may not be the solution that takes you forward. Survival may have required speed. Living may require sensitivity. Survival may have required control. Living may require trust. Survival may have required proving. Living may require belonging. Survival may have required becoming extraordinary. Living may require allowing yourself to be ordinary sometimes. Ordinary does not mean meaningless. An ordinary life is where almost all human intimacy occurs. People fall in love in ordinary moments. Children remember ordinary evenings. Friendships deepen through ordinary conversations. Bodies recover through ordinary sleep. Trust grows through ordinary consistency. A life built only around extraordinary moments will contain long stretches that feel like waiting. A life able to value ordinary moments becomes much larger from the inside. This does not happen through forcing gratitude. Forced gratitude can become another performance. You begin with attention. You notice the temperature of the room, the expression on someone's face, the way your body feels before you answer, the taste of food when you are not rushing. The moment an interaction becomes honest. Attention is another trick for becoming happy. It is how you return to participation. And participation is often what emptiness has been asking for. Not more possession, more contact. Contact with the body, contact with emotion, contact with other people, contact with the present, contact with values, contact with the parts of you that were pushed aside to keep the machine moving. The body is especially important because many achievement-driven people live primarily in thought. They treat physical signals as interruptions. Hunger can wait. Tension is normal. Exhaustion is weakness. Sleep is negotiable. Pain is inconvenient. But the body keeps a record of how life is being lived. If you feel empty, ask not only what you think about your life, but how your body experiences it. Does your chest remain tight? Do you breathe shallowly? Do you feel restless when nothing is happening? Do you collapse when the work ends? Do you wake tired despite enough hours in bed? Do you feel absent during moments that should matter? These signs do not provide a diagnosis, they provide information. A life can look successful while the body experiences it as a continuous emergency. Recovery cannot be intellectual alone. You cannot think your way out of every physiological pattern. The nervous system learns through repetition, rhythm, safety, and relationship. Consistent sleep, regular food, movement that is not punishment, periods without stimulation, breathing that is not constantly interrupted by urgency. Time with people who do not require performance. These things sound basic because they are basic. Basic does not mean unimportant. People often seek a profound explanation for emptiness while living in a body that has been deprived of ordinary care for years. Psychological depth should not make us ignore biology. At the same time,
basic care is not a complete answer when the life itself is misaligned. Sleep will not make a degrading relationship healthy. Exercise will not create meaning in work that violates your values. Meditation will not solve chronic exploitation. Self-care should not be used to adapt you endlessly to conditions that need to change. The honest task is to look at both. What inside me needs care? What around me needs change? Confusing these questions creates unnecessary suffering. If the problem is internal, changing the entire environment may bring only temporary relief. If the problem is environmental, endless self-improvement may teach you to tolerate the intolerable. Wisdom means distinguishing where your agency belongs. You may discover that some parts of your life need acceptance and others need action. You cannot control aging, uncertainty, or the fact that every relationship includes limitation. You can change how much work consumes your time, whether you tell the truth, whom you allow close, and what you repeatedly prioritize. You cannot guarantee that people will understand you. You can stop abandoning yourself to remain understandable. You cannot guarantee permanent success. You can build a self that is larger than success. You cannot guarantee that emptiness will never return. You can develop ways of responding that do not involve panic, shame, or another blind pursuit. This is the real promise of psychological growth, not permanent happiness. Greater freedom in how you meet your experience. You begin to notice the old cycle earlier.
The emptiness appears. The mind says, "Find another go." You pause. You ask, "What am I actually needing?" Maybe the answer is challenge. Then a new goal may be appropriate. Maybe the answer is rest. Then another challenge would deepen the problem. Maybe the answer is grief. Then productivity would only postpone it. Maybe the answer is connection. Then buying something would provide stimulation, not companionship. Maybe the answer is meaning. Then status would not satisfy it. The same feeling can require different responses at different times. This is why formulas fail. Human beings are not machines with one missing part. A psychologically mature life requires ongoing interpretation. You pay attention, make a response, observe the effect, and adjust. That is not weakness or indecision. It is relationship. You are learning to have a relationship with your own life instead of managing it entirely from outside. Over time, this changes the way you define success. Success may become less about arrival and more about congruence. Congruence means the outer life and inner values are not constantly at war. You say what you mean more often. You choose relationships where you can breathe. You work in ways that do not require permanent self-betrayal. You make room for both contribution and recovery. You still experience conflict because values can compete. Security and freedom may pull in different directions. Ambition and rest may both matter. Loyalty and self-protection may both be legitimate. Congruence does not remove difficult choices. It allows you to make them consciously. A conscious sacrifice feels different from an automatic one. You may choose to work intensely for a period because the project matters, while acknowledging the cost and planning recovery. That is different from overworking because you are terrified that slowing down will expose your worthlessness. The behavior may look similar from the outside. The internal relationship is entirely different. The deepest question is not only what you are doing, it is what the doing means inside you. Are you building or escaping? Are you choosing or complying?
Are you expressing value or bargaining for worth? Are you moving toward life or away from feeling? No single answer will remain true forever. Motives are mixed. You may be building and escaping at the same time. The goal is not moral purity. The goal is increasing honesty. Honesty allows you to reduce the burden placed on achievement. You can tell the truth. I want this job because the work interests me and because I want people to respect me. I want this body because I value health and because I am afraid of rejection. I want this relationship because I love the person and because being alone frightens me. Mixed motives do not invalidate the desire. They help you care for the vulnerable need without forcing the external goal to carry on of it. You can pursue the job and work on self-worth. You can care for the body and challenge shame. You can love the person and learn how to be alone without collapsing. This is integration again, not eliminating need, but placing need in a wider system of support. One person cannot meet every need. One achievement cannot organize an entire identity. One role cannot contain the whole self. A resilient life has multiple sources of meaning and connection. Work, friendship, love, solitude, creativity, body, service, curiosity, play, rest. Not every category needs equal time. But when one area carries everything, it becomes fragile. If your entire identity rests on work, a career change becomes an existential crisis. If your entire emotional world rests on one relationship, ordinary distance becomes terrifying. If your entire worth rests on appearance, aging becomes psychological collapse. Diversification is not only financial wisdom, it is emotional wisdom. You create a life in which no single loss can erase every source of belonging. This does not make loss painless. It makes the self more able to survive it. Perhaps that is what you are seeking through success all along. Not constant happiness, but a sense that you could survive. If so, honor the survival need, then update it. You may no longer be in the environment that taught you to fear every setback. You may have more capacity, choice, and support than your nervous system recognizes. The task is to help the body and mind experience the present, not only remember the past. This takes time. Do not turn healing into another deadline. There is no final day when you become completely secure, fully self-aware, and permanently aligned. Psychological work is cyclical. Old patterns return under stress. New stages of life reveal new conflicts. Progress is not never feeling empty again. Progress is recognizing emptiness earlier, interpreting it more accurately, and responding with less self-abandonment. You may still chase the wrong things sometimes. You may still overwork. You may still confuse praise with love. You may still reach a goal and feel disappointed. The difference is that you no longer have to build an identity around the disappointment. You can say, "This taught me something." You can grieve the expectation. You can keep what is valuable. You can change what is not. You can move forward without needing to declare the whole journey a mistake. This is a kinder form of intelligence. It does not romanticize pain. It learns from it. So, what do you do when you have everything you wanted and still feel empty? You begin by refusing the most destructive conclusions. You are not necessarily broken. Your achievements were not necessarily meaningless. Your life is not necessarily a lie. The feeling is real, but the first interpretation may not be.
Then you look carefully.
Have you been sleeping? Have you been alone with too much responsibility? Do your relationships allow honesty? Do you know what you are feeling beyond the word empty? Did the goal belong to you? What emotional promise did you attach to it? What part of you believed this achievement would finally make you safe, lovable, worthy, or free? What has the pursuit protected you from feeling? What did the journey cost? What now needs recovery? These questions are not an interrogation. They are an invitation. You are meeting the person who arrived, not the fantasy version, the actual person. The person who is proud and tired, capable and uncertain, grateful and disappointed, successful and still human. This person does not need another promise that everything will become perfect. This person needs contact. Maybe you sit quietly long enough to feel the sadness under the numbness. Maybe you tell someone the truth.
Maybe you seek therapy because the emptiness has become persistent and frightening. Maybe you adjust the way you work. Maybe you return to something that mattered before everything became a performance. Maybe you let the next goal wait. Maybe you discover that you do want another challenge, but for a different reason. The action matters less than the quality of attention from which it comes. Do not choose the next life from the same panic that made the current one feel uninhabitable. Let the decision come from a deeper place, a place that knows you do not have to earn permission to exist, a place that knows ambition can be beautiful without becoming a weapon, a place that knows love is valuable even though it cannot remove every loneliness, a place that knows rest is part of life, not a reward after life is complete. A place that knows ordinary moments are not empty simply because nobody applauds them. You do not need to stop wanting more. Desire is part of being alive.
You may want to create, build, explore, improve, love, earn, and contribute. There is nothing shallow about that. But you may need to stop asking the next achievement to finally make you whole. Wholeness is not waiting at the end of the chase. It is practiced in the way you relate to yourself while moving. It is practiced when you can want something without making your worth depend on it. When you can fail without turning against yourself. When you can succeed without immediately running away from the quiet that follows. When you can receive love without using it as proof that you deserve to exist. When you can rest without demanding that rest produce something. When you can feel emptiness without assuming it is the truth about your entire life. The life you are looking for may not begin when you get everything. It may begin when everything no longer has to prove that you are enough. And perhaps that is why the emptiness appeared. Not to punish you, not to expose you as ungrateful,
Not to tell you that
nothing matters.
perhaps it appeared because the old way of living had reached its limit.
The pursuit brought you here. Now something else is required. Less performance, more presence. Less proving, more participation. Less fear disguised as ambition. More desire connected to values. Less life postponed until the next arrival. More willingness to inhabit the day already in front of you. You may still have goals. You may still become more successful than you are now. But success will begin to feel different when it is no longer responsible for saving you. It can become what it was always capable of being: an achievement, a possibility, a tool, a moment worth celebrating. Not the final answer to the question of whether your life has value. That answer cannot be secured once and for all. It is lived. In the way you speak to yourself when nobody is impressed. In the way you treat your body when it cannot perform.
In the relationships where you allow yourself to be known. In the boundaries that protect what matters. In the work you choose because it expresses something real. In the quiet moments you no longer rush to fill. In the decision to remain present when the old instinct tells you to escape into the next goal. You got what you wanted. Now you have the opportunity to discover what you actually need. The two are not always the same, and recognizing the difference may be the beginning of a life that does not only look successful from the outside, but finally feels inhabited from within. There is one more part of this experience that deserves attention: the relationship between success and permission. Many people do not simply pursue goals because they want the result. They pursue them because they believe the result will finally grant permission. Permission to rest. Permission to feel proud. Permission to stop apologizing. Permission to take up space. Permission to believe they are not behind. Permission to live in a way that feels natural instead of constantly strategic. Until then, they keep themselves in a psychological state of probation. They are always almost acceptable, almost secure, almost ready to begin. This creates a life organized around after. After I reach the number, after I fix my body, after I prove I can do it, after I become someone nobody can dismiss. The problem is that permission based on achievement is temporary. The moment you receive it, the mind creates a new condition. You may rest after this project, then another project appears. You may feel confident after this promotion, then you enter a room with more powerful people. You may accept your body after reaching this weight, then you notice another flaw. You may believe you're lovable after this person chooses you, then you become afraid they will change their mind. Conditional permission is never fully granted because the condition keeps moving. This is why a person can spend years preparing to live and very little time actually living. The preparation feels responsible. It may even be praised, but underneath it is often a refusal to meet the present self with dignity. You keep telling yourself that the future version deserves what the current version has not yet earned. Imagine how exhausting that is. Every day becomes an argument against who you are. Every task carries more weight than the task itself. You are not only finishing work, you're proving you're disciplined. You are not only exercising, you are proving you are not weak. You are not only dating, you are proving you are desirable. You are not only earning, you are proving you are safe. No wonder success can feel empty. The result arrives, but the internal courtroom remains open. The judge simply requests more evidence. At some point, psychological freedom requires a radical decision: to stop placing your basic humanity on trial. This does not mean declaring yourself perfect. It means refusing to make worth dependent on perfection. You can recognize your mistakes without reducing yourself to them. You can acknowledge wasted years
without calling your entire life a waste. You can see that a goal did not fulfill you without mocking the person who believed it would. That person needed hope. Perhaps the promise of success carried you through a time when no other promise was available. You do not need to punish that version of yourself. You need to update the agreement. The old agreement may have been, "I will earn my life." The new agreement can be, "I will participate in my life while I build it." The old agreement may have been, "I will become valuable." The new agreement can be, "I will develop my abilities without treating value as a prize." The old agreement may have been, "I will rest when there is nothing left to fear." The new agreement can be, "I will create moments of rest even though life remains uncertain."
These are not affirmations meant to erase reality. They are changes in psychological posture. One posture stands outside life, negotiating for permission to enter. The other begins where you are. This shift also changes how you experience time. When life is organized around achievement, time becomes an obstacle between you and arrival. You rush through the week, the month, the year. You want the present to pass because the future contains the version of life you consider real. Then, after reaching the goal, you may look backward and feel something painful. You got what you wanted, but you were absent during the years it took to get there. You remember deadlines more clearly than dinners. You remember pressure more clearly than seasons. You remember what you were trying to become, but not what it felt like to be alive along the way. This realization can produce regret. Use regret carefully. Regret can become another weapon, another way to attack yourself for failing to live perfectly. But nobody is fully present all the time. Nobody moves through life without periods of confusion, avoidance, or misplaced effort. The useful question is not, "How could I have wasted so much time?" It is, "What is this regret asking me to value now?" Maybe it is asking you to call someone. Maybe it is asking you to stop saying yes automatically. Maybe it is asking you to protect evenings from endless work. Maybe it is asking you to stop delaying care for your health. Maybe it is asking you to experience success with the people you love instead of only displaying it to people you barely know. Regret becomes wisdom when it changes attention. It becomes suffering when it only changes self-image. You cannot return to the years that passed. You can stop requiring the present to pay for them. There is also a quiet fear that appears when people consider loosening their attachment to achievement. They worry they will lose their edge. If I stop criticizing myself, will I become lazy? If I stop proving myself, will I stop growing? If I accept who I am, will I settle? This fear makes sense when self-attack has been your primary source of momentum. You may not trust motivation that does not come from shame, urgency, or fear. But there are other forms of motivation: curiosity, care, devotion, craft, contribution, love, responsibility chosen consciously rather than imposed internally. These motivations often feel less explosive. They may not produce the same adrenaline, but they are more sustainable because they do not require you to remain psychologically threatened. Fear can make you run quickly. It cannot teach you where to live. Self-compassion does not remove standards. It removes humiliation from the process of meeting them. You can say, "This needs to improve," without saying, "I am worthless until it does." You can say, "I made a serious mistake," without saying, "I am nothing but the mistake." You can challenge yourself without becoming your own enemy. In fact, people often become more capable when they are no longer spending so much energy managing shame. They can receive feedback without collapse. They can admit uncertainty earlier. They can recover from setbacks more quickly. They can take meaningful risks because failure is no longer experienced as total personal exposure. This is the kind of confidence success alone cannot create. It is not confidence that everything will work. It is confidence that you will remain in relationship with yourself when something does not. That confidence makes ambition freer. You do not need every attempt to succeed. You do not need every person to approve. You do not need every chapter to justify the whole life. You can experiment. You can learn. You can change direction without declaring yourself a fraud. You can become a beginner again. For many accomplished people, becoming a beginner is terrifying. Their identity depends on competence. They stay inside what they already know because ignorance feels humiliating. But a life with no room for beginnerhood becomes narrow. Growth requires periods in which you are not impressive. Intimacy requires moments in which you do not have the answer. Creativity requires producing work that may not be good. Recovery requires admitting that the old method is no longer enough. The willingness to be unfinished is one of the strongest protections against emptiness because it allows life to remain alive after achievement. You are not a completed product. You are not meant to reach a final form and remain there. But neither are you a permanent problem to solve. You are a person in motion. There is a difference. A problem is approached with impatience. A person is approached with attention. A problem is valuable when fixed. A person has value while changing. A problem has an endpoint. A life has seasons. When you treat yourself as a problem, every emotion becomes an error. Every pause becomes delay. Every contradiction becomes failure. When you treat yourself as a person, emotions become information. Pauses become part of rhythm. And contradictions become evidence of complexity. This does not make life easy. It makes life inhabitable. And that may be the real opposite of emptiness. Not constant pleasure, not endless excitement, not having everything. Inhabitability, the ability to remain inside your own life without constantly trying to become someone else first. The ability to experience a quiet day without calling it meaningless. The ability to receive success without demanding that it erase your past. The ability to feel disappointment without throwing away everything you built. The ability to notice a need before it becomes a crisis. The ability to be proud without becoming dependent on pride. The ability to rest without disappearing. This is not a dramatic finish line. It is a different way of walking, and it begins in moments so small that nobody else may notice. You close the laptop when the work is enough. You tell the truth instead of giving the impressive answer. You let a compliment land without arguing with it. You feel envy and ask what it reveals rather than attacking yourself. You sit in the room after the celebration ends and do not immediately search for the next reason to matter. You breathe. You notice that the silence is uncomfortable. You stay. At first, staying may feel like nothing. Later, you may recognize it as the moment your life began to belong